Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. John Romano covers the Tampa Bay Rays for the Tampa Bay Times, and he is an outstanding baseball writer. And he has come up with a plan to keep the Rays at Tropicana Field beyond the 2028 season. First, a little background. As you know, the Rays are playing their home games in 2025 at Steinbrenner Field because Hurricane Milton tore the roof off of the Trop. Now the St. Petersburg Council is committed to repairing that roof because the Rays have a lease in that ballpark through the 2028 season, and contractually, St. Petersburg is obligated to fix that roof so that the Rays can complete their lease in that ballpark through the 2028 season. And it seems as if they are living up to that commitment. It's going to cost $56 million to repair the roof and also damage done to the interior of the ballpark because of all the rain and the wind. And so far, $38.5 million has been committed to the project. And as I said, they need $56 million, and it appears as if they're going to get the $56 million to fix the ballpark. But what happens after the 2028 season? You've got a lot of these so-called influencers and social media out there saying that the team is going to be sold, the team is going to move to Orlando, they're going to build a beautiful spanking new ballpark in Orlando, yada, 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 except Commissioner Rob Manfred continues to emphasize the Rays are not leaving that area of Florida. It has one of the largest television markets in the country. They're not going to abandon that area of Florida. They are committed to staying in the Tampa Bay area. So, where does this leave the situation? I think John Romano has an excellent plan. Again, this is not my plan. This is John Romano's plan. Now, what is he proposing? Among the things he is proposing is to have the Rays and St. Petersburg negotiate a new lease. Now, if you remember, Stuart Sternberg, the owner of the Rays, came out when they were battling over this new stadium, which has now been abandoned. I believe Sternberg properly left the deal. I don't call it backing out of the deal. I believe he properly left the deal because the financial obligation to the Rays was going to be much higher than was estimated following the hurricane, as far as building costs, etc., for a new ballpark. So, what Romano is suggesting is, why don't they negotiate a new lease now? St. Petersburg and the Rays negotiate a new lease, make it, and we're talking about beyond the 2028 season, because the Rays need a home after 2028. And they're certainly not going to get a new ballpark by 2029. That's not happening. So what Romano is suggesting is, hey, negotiate a lease, make it a year, make it 2 years, make it 5 years, have the Rays stay through the early 2030s at Tropicana Field. What's the benefit to St. Petersburg? Well, number one, like Romano was saying, you're going to get more for your money. You're going to get your $56 million worth beyond 2028. If they stay in 2029, 2030, then you're making at least some kind of an investment beyond the 3-year investment you're making to repair the Trop. That makes sense. He's also suggesting that obviously the Rays are going to have to pay rent. How much they pay is going to be negotiated. He says right now the Rays are paying the Yankees $10 million for renting Steinbrenner Field. I read a higher cost, but like I said, he's an excellent reporter. He knows. Also, what he is suggesting is you've got one area of the site where the ballpark is, which the city owns, that right now is a massive parking area. Develop that, and the city reaps the cost of that development, not the Rays, but the city. And in return, obviously, the city has to continue to upkeep the ballpark, which makes sense. But what he's saying is redevelop on the easternmost side of the ballpark where there's this big parking area. The city benefits from fixing the Trop beyond 2028, and it buys the Rays more time to make a decision. He also says, and I totally agree with John Romano on this, there's labor strife on the horizon. There very likely is going to be some kind of work stoppage, strike, use whatever term you want, after the association's contract, the Major League Baseball Players Association contract with MLB expires following the 2026 season. And what he is saying is once they come to a new agreement, and they will come to a new agreement, they always have in the past, it might sacrifice the 2027 season, which would be totally ludicrous. But once they come to another long-term agreement, that might increase the value of the franchise in the event Sternberg wants to sell, in the event the people in that area want to build a new ballpark. So he says it could have an impact on the team value, and it benefits the Rays to negotiate with St. Petersburg to extend the relationship beyond the 2028 season at the Trop. It buys everybody time. And he also said, because you've got the mayor of St. Petersburg, Ken Welch, who says he will not negotiate with Sternberg at all. He's done with Sternberg. It buys Sternberg some time, because the mayor is running for re-election, and if he wins, his term will be expired by the time any extension on the Trop is negotiated. So it enables Sternberg to buy more time. And again, Romano emphasizes the Rays are not for sale. This guy's well plugged in. All these influencers out there, Sternberg is going to sell. They're going to sell to that Orlando group. They're going to move to Orlando. He's saying, and again, he's well plugged in, the Rays are not up for sale. So I think the John Romano plan is perfect. I think that they should explore this. Major League Baseball wants to stay in Tampa, the area, the Tampa Bay area, St. Petersburg, Tampa. You've got this ballpark there. You're committing millions to repair it. Contractually, you're obligated to committing millions. So why not negotiate beyond 2028? That's the Romano plan. Sign me up. I'm for the John Romano plan. That's Dan on Sports. See you later.